This is the Sell Your Brand Show with James Bray and Mike Killen, the one-stop shop for creative solopreneurs and startups to get the best practical advice on how to build, how to brand, and how to sell online products and content. Let's get to it.
Hey guys, I'm Mike from Sell Your Service.
And this is James from Brand Snack.
And welcome to the Sell Your Brand Show. And we've got a very special one this year.
We do.
This year?
This year? Well, it is quite of a special one this year.
Fucked it up already. Well. Brilliant. So there you go. To anyone watching live, you'll see just how bad we are at this. So brilliant. I've nailed that. Well done. So we're broadcasting this episode live. Now, obviously, if you're listening to the recording, we are currently recording this, but of the day of recording, which is the 16th of May that we're in. Get it right. We're currently broadcasting this live to our Facebook group. So you're on the Brand Snack community?
Brand Snack community site,
Livy waves at us. Hey, Livy. I am broadcasting to the Sell Your Service private mastermind.
Cool.
Last week we talked about how to start a podcast.
We did, yeah.
And I think this week we're going to talk about a year in review.
We're actually going to go through our stuff.
Yeah.
And see how we've literally cocked up on every single episode.
Without fail.
I was going to say we're looking for that golden nugget that we've hopefully given somewhere to someone.
But the irony, of course, being that we now have to go through 52 episodes to find that one golden nugget.
It's going to be a long ride.
Right. So lock the doors, please.
Lock the doors. Where's the coffee? Please?
So I'll tell you the most interesting piece, and I've talked about this a few times, is first of all, we have episode 1, which is about charging higher prices. And that to me, I was like, I really want to do that. It's a really good episode. I really want to talk about that. The audio quality is not brilliant on it because we only used one Yeti microphone, but also you said that we should do episode 0 introducing us.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you know, episode 0 is our second most downloaded
It's
episode.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just literally heard that or read that most people will, after the first episode that they listen to of yours, will go back to the initial introduction episode.
Yeah.
Where you introduce yourself, you introduce the podcast and how you can benefit people and help people. And what do you know?
Yeah, it's funny that
it worked out.
I'll dive into the analytics in a bit as well.
Yeah, let's have a look at that as well.
Kind of have a look at that, which would be kind of cool. All right, so without looking at the episodes.
Oh, right, Daleks. That's what
I know you're about to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see on mine that I'm looking up on
Let's turn back round.
Because we've kind of got sort of. I've noticed that I've listened back to a bunch of episodes and I've contradicted myself multiple times.
I know.
Right?
I write the notes for them every week.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So
almost every week.
But what do you have one episode that sticks out to you over the last year? I have one very clear episode that sticks out.
Yeah, but you're looking at them.
No, but this stuck out no matter what.
Oh, right. Not really. They all kind of merge into a bit of a greyness.
Well, this is actually a bit of a problem. Apparently, it's quite a known problem.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good.
Because
making me feel worried.
Although you teach it and it internalizes it, the human brain isn't very good at categorizing what you have talked about.
Oh, right,
it's not like I could say, "Oh, last week I spoke about this."
Mine's definitely not doing that.
No, I mean, but you do internalize it more, so you become. It's why cult leaders kind of really believe what they're saying because they say it over and over again.
Okay.
But they wouldn't be able to give an exact pinpointed date of when they said each statement.
Do you know what? I think the one that stands out most in my mind was the killer blog post.
That's exactly what I was going to say as well.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know why?
Why?
Because it was gruelingly long. And
Was it how long?
We went into way too much detail. I was like, so headlines. And it was like 45 minutes in. And we're like, we just covered headlines. The killer blog post was my favorite, partly because it's like a real cornerstone piece of my content.
Yeah.
It's so important to my strategy.
Yeah.
But also the way that we had gone through it was in such great detail that I remember at the time, because I think we even only did one episode because we usually do 2 episodes a week.
It was just one, wasn't it? Our 2-hour blog post. Podcast on that.
But it was really long and kind of grueling. And I think that's when you got into a bit of your stride about writing up the content.
Yep.
As well as around then.
It was actually. Yeah, that definitely sticks out.
That to me is what
for good or
sticks out.
bad.
Yeah, exactly. Purely for
out.
painful reasons.
Yeah, for absolute mind-numbing.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
A few other kind of bits that stick out for me are what you should focus on to succeed.
Oh, mate, that's just exploded.
Number 45 something.
6.
Actually, maybe it's earlier than that. Maybe it's in the 30s.
Oh, is it? That has done amazingly
I can
well.
actually look. Let me have a look at the analytics because it's still like the most popular one.
Yeah, by far.
And what's interesting about that is I don't think you could say that that's what you're just going to talk about because it's almost too broad. But when you have a bit of an audience, they go into it. And what we've found is that people tend to find us. Their first episode is a very tactic-based podcast. We're pretty much repeating exactly what we talked about on the last episode. But then they find the kind of the later ones to do with, more motivation stuff. But I really liked that episode because it was to do with what you need to focus on to succeed. Episode.
You never know. You never would have predicted.
Episode 26.
26.
No, precisely.
Yeah, you never would have predicted that would have been our most popular episode.
Yeah, really.
Out of all of the amazing information and knowledge we've dropped.
Yeah.
I say. But yeah.
Oh, you wanted something from that? Yeah, we definitely did.
Good work.
We have done.
Thanks.
Out of everything that we do talk about, it's interesting that one on focus and motivation was kind of is the most popular. And we find that a lot of people find the tactic one and then go to that one.
Yep.
Or like episode 0 as well.
Yep.
So that's kind of interesting. Another one that really sticks out for me is the episode we did on money.
Yes. Yeah, you were well on form on that one. I don't think I got a word.
No,
in.
I spoke for like an hour straight.
I was sitting here just like
it was me
nodding.
yelling at you.
Yeah, I know. It was quite oppressive.
Yeah. It was basically me yelling at you for an hour.
Yeah. I remember it.
About my money problems.
Yeah.
So that was good therapy for me. Any other highlights for you at the moment?
I would also say this is without looking at them, so I'm trying to pick them out. I'm struggling.
Tell you what I really enjoyed was interviewing my partner Liv. We did like a live. So that's episode 27. If you ever want to build a course, listen to episode 27.
Yeah, that's good.
Because
I wasn't on it. Is this where you're going?
That's why it worked so well. The chemistry was so good.
Yeah, I know.
It wasn't as forced as every other week. We basically went through a course for Liv and like how she would build out a course for her business. And it was quite interesting for me to be able to kind of run through that. I'll let you open up the episodes now because we'll run through them kind of categorically.
There we go. Right.
See if we can kind of.
I'm allowed.
Yeah.
Okay.
That to me was quite. I really enjoyed that one.
Let's have a look at what we got.
So the biggest thing for me is that on one of the tools episodes, I couldn't tell you which one, you talked about ConvertKit.
Yes.
But you don't use ConvertKit anymore.
I don't use ConvertKit. Oh, I do, but I'm transferring off of it onto ActiveCampaign.
Yeah.
In the process of doing that now.
So, and again, Squarespace?
Yep.
You've moved away from Squarespace.
Yeah, onto WordPress.
And that to me is really interesting that we both kind of, because there's a couple of tools I've mentioned as well that now I no longer use. And that to me is really interesting that we're happy to say that on the podcast. Go back. We haven't deleted them.
No.
We've kept them out there.
Yeah.
And we'll go back, and undoubtedly when we do a tools episode like this year or next year, it'll be slightly different because your business grows and it evolves, And
it's nice to take people on that journey with you as well. And I mean, because when we started over a year ago, the podcast, that is, we were in completely different places in each of our individual businesses.
Yeah.
So it was nice to show that journey of where we were then and where we are now. And also, you know what, like a year down the line when we're doing episode number like 100 and whatever, then we're going to be in a completely different place again. So I think it's just natural. Right, I'm going to have a look at these.
You go through.
I've got to start remembering what we've done.
A few other points. I think what I've noticed about a podcast is it kind of goes in waves. We'll do a few really tactic-based ones. So I'll let you look at this while I just sort of rant into the microphone.
Ran. I'm going to look.
The microphone.
Good.
What James and I found is that we
pretty much usual.
Come back in a couple of minutes.
Want a coffee?
Yeah. What we found is that we will do a few really heavy tactic ones, such as building a sales page, building a thank you page, like automation, email marketing, and then we'll naturally move into some of the more strategy-based ones, such as how to focus on what you want, like how to define your vision and your values. Some of them are, I think we did them because we were maybe a bit hungover, or something.
Yep.
Like
That's definitely
like
happened.
the top email automation apps and the top course platforms, which was episode 16 and 17 back to back, was basically because like I don't know why, but for both reasons we weren't feeling brilliant. So like, let's just do a couple of list posts.
Yeah, it was like low hanging fruit.
Yeah,
basically. It was. Yeah, because we weren't feeling it those weeks.
But they do quite well, and in the analytics they do quite well still.
It's surprising because you just don't know what's going to be successful.
In fact, I've got the actual top. Okay, so 22% of. It says percentage of all episodes. So I'm assuming of every single episode that's downloaded,
Yep.
what you need to focus on to succeed accounts for 22% of our listeners.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's just mad, right?
Yeah.
How to charge higher prices, episode number 1.
Yep. Yeah, that's a big one.
And then, so episode 00 is third then, but it still accounts for 10% of our listeners.
Right.
Which is still quite
considering it has
significant.
no content in it.
Yeah.
Apart from us going, hey.
Well, you could argue that everyone on this list doesn't have any content. Doesn't have any content in it. Yeah. But
ramblings of two men.
Yeah. So that's quite interesting to me. Episode 3, how to get rid of confusion in your business.
Yep.
Don't say like you know what it is. I am gonna.
I've just seen it as I'm
getting
looking
rid
on
of
my screen.
Confusion.
Remember that one?
A roadmap on what you're doing comes down to 3 things: knowing yourself, knowing your audience, and knowing your competition. Oh
Okay,
yeah, I do remember
basically
this now.
The 3 things that we always bang on about.
I do remember this now. This was back when we put time notes and we said we'll spend 30 minutes on this topic and 50 minutes on the next.
Yep.
And now we have a wildly inconsistent format. Some episodes will be an hour and 45, some will be 30 minutes, depending on how we're feeling and what time of morning it is.
Pretty much.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I've just seen one episode that I do remember.
Yeah.
Our top influencers.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting.
That was episode 29,
Uh-huh.
I think. For the simple sole reason that when I scheduled that out on social.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got a huge wave of feedback from people. Ryan Dice came back to me saying,
"Yeah, he did.
That's amazing. Thank you very much." Miles Beckler came back as well, and your mate Andrew Craig came back as well. Yeah. But no, there was a really nice kind of feedback from the community of, thank you so much. And we hadn't. 29 episodes. That's not a lot.
No.
At the time, and we're not 2 major players in this. Well,
speak for yourself.
I
mate.
know. I'm not a major player.
I own my Peugeot 206. So,
I still need to get
carry on. Yeah.
But just to get that feedback from some actual really big names that are far and above the level that we're at the moment.
What that showed me is that you can gain a lot of traction quite quickly by tagging influencers, which is why a lot of people interview on their podcast other influencers.
Yeah, and we spoke about this last week as well.
Yeah, because it grows your network.
Yeah, very, very quickly.
Which was, I remember that because I remember coming around here.
Yep.
And your Twitter feed was full of those people kind of saying, "Oh, thanks very much," and retweeting and stuff, which was kind of insane. Which is why maybe no, it's not on here. Interesting that. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's interesting.
Cool.
So okay, that's a cool one. That's
interesting.
I'd kind of forgotten about that one.
Doing this live thing.
Yeah.
You can see how used to it I am. I would also like to know if you guys have any kind of favourite episodes that you like as well, and why. That'd be really good to know, actually.
Why would be brilliant.
Why would be
fucking low.
We haven't got a fucking clue.
Amazing.
But that would be useful as well. So
because I am watching it on this phone as well. So if you have got any comments or questions, say hello, or if there's anything in particular you remember. Some I think of the episodes that people get in contact with me about are tactic-based ones.
Okay.
So how to build a thank you page. In fact, that one got me a guest listing on Liam Austin's Funnel Success Summit. That's
cool.
why I was invited on as a guest for that one, which was kind of cool because
nice.
it was so specific. Which again, if I had to choose like my own super micro niche and do my own podcast for a very specific micro niche, I probably would do it on the thank you page.
Yeah.
Because the thank you page is such a brilliant addition. I would just do a podcast just on thank you, and my business would just design thank you pages and confirmation pages.
Yep.
Because I think it's such an important part of the process.
What episode was that? The single killer page that converts, wasn't it?
Converts, yeah, and like helps you generate sales and automation, cleans your email. It does everything. 39, I think, the single secret killer page that instantly increases conversions.
Nice.
One of my favorite episodes to do
Yep.
was episode 33, predictions for 2018.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Because what I can't wait is for next year to roll around and for us to have a look at what I think what those are.
Do we have to?
Well, yeah, which is part of the problem because some of them are already nonsense.
Yeah.
Right? I could not have
by the end of it.
Yeah, I could not have predicted how badly some of these went.
That's why I called it out obviously spot on predictions.
Yeah. That was really good. Yeah.
The thing that I really liked from that episode as well was we went on to go for our goals of what we're setting out for the next year.
Yeah.
So that'll be really interesting to see how we've matched up towards those.
Yeah, that's cool.
For next year's one as well.
Oh yeah, because we did a goals one, didn't we? Yeah.
We did. We did the goals in that one. That was the same episode.
Well, because every single month I publish. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
32 was our goals and setting goals for 2018.
You're right.
And 33 was in our predictions.
You're right.
Again, we were probably hungover. And we thought, this could have easily been one episode, but let's split this across 2 episodes. Yeah, let's drag it out. I like that in the goal setting for 2018, it says main show, point 1, goal, point 2, goal, point 3, goal, point 4, goal, point 5, blank. So I was obviously like 4's enough, right? But these here are the same goals that I have on my monthly blog post where I talk about my goals.
Yep.
So I would hope that they're still in line with that. That's really interesting. That.
Yeah, that'd be good to look back over.
Yeah, that's quite cool. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing those 2 episodes. That was really good. A couple of times we've had interviews come up. So I've released my Dan Shaw interview on SEO.
Yeah, the SEO one. That was
quite
good.
Cool.
That was very
45.
interesting, actually, on user intent.
Yeah, and how SEO is used at different stages of the funnel, which is kind of interesting and really important, I think.
That's really good.
Another really interesting point, the other interview which we did last week, but it's actually 2 weeks ago if you're listening to the recording of this, that's the Miles Beckler one.
That was really good.
I'm just a huge fan of his. He's like a massive hero to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I could have just listened to him for hours, just talking about funnels and traffic and stuff. That was kind of cool.
I bet it's a shame he had to go on his hike.
Yeah, like with the area that we've been there. So we've been to, Liv and I have been there. It's Sedona up in Arizona.
Okay.
And it is just stunning. It's like, when you see in desert films in America, like the huge tall sand columns.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's where it's filmed.
Wow.
And it is absolutely stunning. But it's one of those places you can't quite understand the scale of America until you're there, because you're in this area and it's so vast. We went on a few like 2, 3, 4 hour hikes and just didn't see anyone else ever.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just you can't understand the scale
insane.
of it. When you're driving through it, it's just mind blowing how big this country is. So yeah, when he was like, I'm off to hike, I was like, yeah, you definitely should. That's exactly where you should be. If you like hiking, that's where you should be. And it's exhausting as well because it's like a million degrees all the time.
Wow.
So yeah, that was cool.
That was
a couple of episodes. So we usually do that because I was away during that week or the week before. So we
decided to take a holiday without consulting.
Little trip to Salzburg, mate. In fact, I took 2 weeks, didn't I?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks you sodded off for.
And I said this the other day. I was like to Liv, I was like, I wonder if I could have done the episode. And she went, didn't James once do the episode from London with you? I was like, nah, he didn't.
I don't remember that one.
What one was that? That's interesting.
Now you're testing my memory.
Yeah, I can't remember when that was because it wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't.
Not top 10 qualities of highly successful people. I remember doing that and talking about that in the room. That's really interesting. That I can't remember that.
Which one? I wasn't listening.
The one where you were in London. I can't remember which one it was specifically.
No. Was it dealing with family in everyday life?
Oh, I think it was actually. No, it wasn't. Oh yeah, because we had to re-record it.
Oh yeah,
we did do that one. So here's another little.
Here we go. Yeah.
that was the one that I just completely forgot to record.
Yeah, you forgot to press record.
I pressed. Oh, fucking hell.
How are we doing?
Yeah, we are definitely good. We are definitely recording on
Good.
that one. Yeah. It's happened, but it has happened.
It has happened for an hour.
We've sat there talking to each other.
Episode.
I like that it was so annoying to us that we didn't even think, oh, well, at least we had a conversation about it. We're like, we have to record the exact same conversation again. So we did. We had to re-record, and I think it was dealing with family life and stuff. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Hilarious.
Yeah. Wasn't that the one that my wife walked in on as well?
Yeah, she did.
Or was that a previous one?
No, that's another one. That was before, because Elena walked in and first knocked really softly and sort of opened the door, and she was like, "I'm really sorry. I need your, is it when you Olivia's hat or something?"
Yeah, hat was in it.
And we were like, "Well, interrupting us quietly you're still interrupting us." So, doing it quietly doesn't make a difference. In fact, she's watching now. So hello, Elena. Interrupting us quietly is still interrupting us. So we had to cut that bit out. So that was quite funny to do that. I was like, oh, fuck it, just leave it in. But
we've also done the one where you chased a cat through your garden.
I was furious. That's a really good. That's a good. So our garden, we hadn't. It's entirely my fault because I hadn't mowed the lawn ever. I've told you about the time our neighbour got a new lawnmower.
Yeah.
And because our lawn was in such a state, we literally had not mowed it since we'd moved in.
It was
about
pretty bad.
9 months, right? And she was like, "Oh, well, I've bought this new lawnmower. You can have my old one if you want." And I was like, "Nah, don't worry about it." She was like, "I really think you should have this old lawnmower." And I was like trying to pick up on the hint. And I was like, "Do you know what? That's really sweet of you. Thank you very much." She's lovely, by the way, our neighbour. She's an absolute gem. She's wonderful to live next door to. And she did give us a decent fly mow, but I love the fact that she was like, "Oh, well, I've bought this one. Do you want this old one? Because your lawn is a fucking steak."
Yeah,
is what she
quite want to say.
Basically, that's just, yeah. She stopped herself saying that. So yeah, we still use that. So cheers for that, Shirley. Love that.
So yeah, you chased the cat, and I had to sit there and just make up some bollocks whilst you were running around your garden.
Because they would come
chasing
in
the cat
and they
off.
take a shit in the garden, and I was like, "Well, I've got to run out and chase this cat away." And I had to unlock all the doors and run out, and then I came back in, and I don't think we cut it out. I think we kept it in.
Yeah, we kept that in. Yeah.
Nice. Which shows some of your editing.
My editing skills of I can't be asked.
Publish.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't even have bumpers on it.
No.
Just literally
Straight in.
You chasing a cat.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Sorted.
So I think one of the things that comes up constantly is that we don't get into the main topic quick enough.
No.
We'll talk about nonsense for about 15 minutes.
The Hamburglar. That was one. Whatever happened to him?
Let's not bring it up again.
No.
That was real
That was
painful.
awful.
Have you seen the new Infinity Wars? Have you
No.
seen the new Avengers? All right. I won't spoil it for you then. The hamburger's in it.
Excellent. That's where we went.
Makes a cameo.
Yeah.
And so we talk about that. Like even people I work with have been like, "Mike, seriously, you gotta fucking rein that in, and you gotta do it somewhere else. You can't." But I quite like that interaction.
Yeah.
For a few reasons. First of all, no one in my office likes to talk to me.
Am I the only one?
So yeah, basically,
or be talked at by you.
Talk that. We'll talk about money, and I'll yell at you.
Yeah.
But I like the catching up part. It's
like
sort of
that.
the reason why we did the podcast in the first place.
You know what? Business isn't just about the actions and the kind of tactics of what you should do. Business is about building relationships with people and understanding them and forming emotional connections with people.
Yeah.
And that's
It's a good
for
way to
people
practice that.
Well, don't know about that.
Yeah.
But for people listening, they get an understanding of who we are.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main things that builds trust.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that we always say the people that say that still listen.
They still listen. First of all, fast forward.
Yeah.
If
you don't want to listen.
if it pisses you off that much, hit the fucking fast forward button. Skip forward 15 minutes.
It's fine.
Skip forward 50.
Yeah,
Doesn't make a difference to me.
Go right to
right?
go right to the outro.
It doesn't matter. But yeah, the intro talking bit I think is quite important. It builds rapport and it establishes us as we're not taking ourselves too seriously. And there's a lot of very hyper professional podcasts out there, like digital marketers, and it's great and it has that position in the market and it does a fantastic job.
Yep.
But I like the dynamic that we have. I do like interviews and stuff on the WP Elevation podcast, although not anymore. And again, there's some great dynamic there, but it's very different me vibing with someone who I've only talked to once as opposed to you who I've known for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I quite like that part. And then we just move into the main show.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would do differently knowing what you know now about the podcast?
Differently to what when we started, or
when you started, or is there anything you like part of the format that you would change now?
I personally think the format that we've got works pretty well.
Yeah.
What I would like to do more of is more interviews.
Yeah. Okay.
I know that wasn't a particular prerequisite of what we wanted from the show when we first started doing it.
No.
But I think that we've got to a point now where we're comfortable in what we do.
Yeah.
And we're no longer kind of pushing ourselves and pushing the show as much as we could be.
Yeah.
I think it needs to kind of step up to that next level. Still have the same conversational tone in everything that we do, but I think that it needs to have that extra little something now.
Okay.
Not necessarily every week. Like,
you knock yourself out, mate. If you want to interview people, that's fine with me.
I am good with that, but not like.
Well, you've committed to it right now and live on
literally
a bunch of different cameras as well. So
for everyone. That was a bad time to pull that out, wasn't it?
We'll pencil that in. But man, I'm more than happy for you to interview people. Yeah, I'll even help set them up. I just like today. This episode, including our previous one, this will be my 4th podcast episode today.
Right.
So I've been interviewed twice myself.
Right.
On 2 other podcasts.
Do you know what? That's the thing, though. I mean, like,
it's fucking exhausting.
I think that's it. Like, I say that I would like that to be the case for the show, but then you look at the actual reality of the time that you have to do it. Like me, amongst other work commitments, amongst family, amongst everything else, I barely have time to put together editing this show, and I haven't put out the show notes for the past couple of weeks because I just haven't had time. So I think it's something where I'd like the show to get to, but realistically currently,
well, we are thinking of putting advertising on
we are
to generate revenue, which would essentially go towards an editor and someone taking care of that kind of shit, as well as doing traffic for ourselves. So I think eventually that's kind of how that will work. But I think the process we have is pretty good.
Yeah. Is there anything you do differently?
I think if we had everything set up in the same way, I'd probably want to do the first 10 episodes again.
Yeah, okay.
Just using this sound quality and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I like this live broadcasting. We do publish a video. Well, but it's not a video. It's just published to YouTube just as an audio file. I think doing this would be quite cool if there was like a team that would make it easier to do.
Yep.
If I had infinite
budget.
Can
you take Facebook ads and Facebook videos and convert them?
You can download them, but they're pretty shitty, frankly. So I think I've got a way of how we're going to be able to do this.
All right.
If I had unlimited budget, I would have us in a studio.
Yeah,
every single week.
I would love to do.
Sat down, the mics aren't clearly visible, but they're in front of us.
Yep.
A bit like, do you know, gamey game? It's like a gaming. I almost gave myself a nosebleed there. Kind of podcast show, like a panel show.
Yeah.
And I'd love to have different panel guests on.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Awesome. Even if we just had a few people, because I think we both know a few people in the area who'd be quite cool to have on, and we would talk about stuff and just do a panel show. In an ideal world, I'd do it every single day.
Right.
So I would have a TV show every single day where we would talk through something, and sometimes it'd just be me, sometimes it'd be you, sometimes it'd be you interviewing someone, me interviewing someone coming in, a panel version, us talking like this, different versions, but essentially the same setup every single time. But that's just, 3 or 4 zeros out of our budget.
Yeah, just a little bit. So considering we're sitting in my office surrounded by miscellaneous
it is
baby
toys.
Stuff.
It definitely is baby stuff, yeah.
It definitely is baby stuff.
A lot of latex in here.
That's your chair down there.
It's gross. Yeah, and well, this is another good point. Like, we sometimes do it here. We sometimes do it at my place.
Yeah, we've experimented in different places actually. This is sounding wrong
We
already.
do.
Good.
We experiment all the time.
Yeah.
Loads of different places. You know, sometimes we've done it in public. Sometimes we've done.
You know what? We haven't actually been out on the road yet.
We haven't done
have we?
a. That'd be good to do.
Yeah.
We haven't done it. I know some of the guys when we were at WordCamp London.
Yep.
They were doing some podcast episodes, just sat down in the room, just like interviewing people
Cool.
with the Zoom, just passing it back and forwards. That was quite cool.
Cool.
I have tested these microphones in a cafe in Boston Tea Party.
Yep.
And they sound great because they don't pick up any ambient noise,
Yeah.
which was kind of cool. I'd love to do a road version where we went out. Like, again, if we had infinite budget, I'd love to go visit other people and do an interview with them there. And that's kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think we've done one on the road.
No, we haven't. But also doing it in different places also affects the sound quality.
Yeah, it does. You have to change the levels and stuff each time.
Yeah, because we've done it in my kitchen
at
some points.
We have.
And you'll notice...
That's the killer blog post one.
No, it was actually, yeah. Where the sound quality sounds like we're in a church.
Yeah. It's really echoey.
Yeah, my kitchen's not that big. It's not the size of a church.
But it's just made of pure glass. It's a fucking stupid design choice. Just made of pure glass.
Even the knives and forks.
Yeah. Everything's made of glass. A big moment for me was episode 10, which, and this is confidence and pride, because I was like, oh, fuck, we've been doing this 10 weeks now. I was like, oh, now it's sort of like, there's a bit of a flow to it. There's a bit of a structure. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was huge.
Okay, let's shift the gear a little bit because we'll wrap it up in a bit. What's been a big change in your business in the last year? Like, not just the podcast, but what's changed within your business?
I think my direction and my focus, coming back to that, has been a real shift in that for me.
Yeah.
Of going from I kind of have this idea of how I want it to be, to actually this is what it needs to be, and this is the data, and these are the reasons that back up that need and that reasoning. So yeah, I think it's honing down into that focus. I'm still not there yet. I'm still not properly there yet, but I'm getting a lot closer to that and making it into a tactic that's actually backed up by evidence, rather than me going, I'd love to do this, so let's give it a go. Yeah. And I think that switch in thinking has really, I mean, like with the whole website redesign, the new courses that are going to be coming out and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah. I had that overall premise in my head, but I didn't quite know how I was going to do it. Yeah. And I think the evidence, the data that backs that up is kind of leading me into how I'm.
And I think you have to just kind of get stuck into running a business.
You do. And the amount of money I've wasted, Jesus, already, like, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Yeah. Like in the beginning stages, which when you're not like making money because it's the very beginning, you're setting up a company, that's quite a lot to lose out of your personal income. Yeah. But yeah, now that's kind of starting to change. That's cool. Yeah.
What about you personally? Has anything changed personally for you in the last year?
Yeah, a lot actually. My confidence in myself and
dropped.
Just absolutely went through the floor. My level of interest in life, that's gone. That's mainly your fault.
Yeah, sure. Partly that's the texts that I send you as well.
Your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah. Sporadically. But
yeah,
that's interesting. Your confidence has gone up.
Yeah, just knowing that, like, one, I'm in control of my own destiny.
Yeah, that's big.
Two, I do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And three, being able to implement what I've learnt and what I know and my expertise in certain areas. Yeah. And seeing that work for my clients really, really helps.
That's cool.
And yeah, I think those kind of elements have really kind of developed that kind of motivation and that passion within me as well.
That's cool. That's
how
really
about yourself?
Cool. Business wise, we've doubled our revenue, gone from $1 a month to $2 a month. So That'll.
That's good.
If it doubles every year at this rate, I'll be a millionaire by the time I'm 400 years old. No, we have doubled our revenue. We've also doubled our prices. We've also massively streamlined what we offer. We had way too many products, way too many gimmicks and lead magnets and opt-ins and shit. And we've streamlined that. We're actually releasing more one-off products, like individual workshops. We've launched one, and that's been selling really, really well. It's our get more done every day and enjoy doing it. It's a 3-part workshop recorded with a Zoom, just an audio workshop. And I'm thinking of stripping stuff way back to just doing audio with worksheets.
Okay.
Because people can listen to it in their car, and then later on I can always do slides over it and stuff. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
We've got a lot more processes because we've hired people in the agency. So we're up to 7-8 members of staff now.
Okay.
Which is like amazing, like the growth there. And I can say comfortably now I'm the least valuable member of my team.
Which is good.
Yep. No, it is good. It is good. They're like so smart. They're so bright. Everyone keeps coming to me with these ideas, and they're like, "Oh, we could do this." I'm like, "Yeah, I know we could." Like, I've known that. I've known that for ages. That we could definitely do that.
Done it? Yeah.
Just haven't gone around to it. It's interesting. So, one of our kind of hires, basically my job is to send her a list of stuff I want to do at the start of the week. She emails me back and says, "You're not doing any of that because it's fucking useless. You're going to do these 2 tasks instead." And my job is to get that done. And that's just completely revolutionized like how I approach work and stuff and the processes we've got going on. So that's been good, really good for the business, and that's grown. And obviously we had a book.
Yeah.
I self-published a book. Notice that's not on your highlights or anything like that for the year.
I don't remember the episode of that.
I think I start mentioning it around episode 0.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, every single book. And then, obviously it got picked up by an actual publisher. So we're currently working through the edits of that and stuff. That's been huge and massive. And what's interesting is a lot of this is like, I think we talked about in your metrics, your last month will always be your best month.
Yeah.
So the idea is, you kind of are like, nothing's growing at the rate I'm growing. But if I look back month on month and I can go back through my goals, my metrics, everything is growing. Yeah. It's around 8% month on month for most stuff, like revenue, traffic, subscribers, stuff like that. Grows 8%. So that's really awesome to see.
Yeah.
But it's also, we've been doing this 3 years now, and we're now starting to see self-sustaining resources and profit and stuff come through. And it's pumping out a video every single week on YouTube, doing a coaching call every single week, a blog post every single week, at least one blog post every single week, a webinar every single month, and it's been hard work, but over time it's paying off, and I'm able to step out of that role more and more now and start looking at the strategy stuff, which I used to think was a bit kind of like wanky, not really necessary, but the more I do it, the more I see how important that is for me to not be doing tactic stuff, to the point now where I'm like, we'll just pay someone to do it, like $100, whatever, just get someone else to do it. So that's been awesome.
Cool.
Internally, personally, I think I say this every year, but I think I've calmed down a lot more. I used to be I was talking about this with a friend of mine recently. 5 years ago, I was like really angry all the time, real anger management issues.
Right.
Was really emotional, flipped out the weirdest shit. And over time, I've become way more calm and kind of methodical. I don't know if that's an age thing or like you naturally mature or something.
I don't know. I think it's more in the kind of personal development.
Yeah, and this is the thing is I've been reading a lot of personal development stuff, and you mentioned it, like you're in charge of your own destiny. You absolutely are. I 100% do not believe in fate at all. I 100% believe that we are the captains of our own ship. The biggest difference for me is understanding that everyone has got the same wind. Yeah. It's the set of our sails that makes a difference. Yeah. And a lot of people don't want to work on setting the right sails. And as soon as I began to think, actually everything else that happens to me, I can't blame on anyone else, ever. If we have a power cut, I could put that down to me not having a backup generator. Yeah. Like, and having that level of control has really helped me understand where the direction I want to take my own life and my own business and stuff. So that's been pretty big. And yeah, I got a NVIDIA GTX 1080 Ti graphics card, a 16 gigabyte graphics card, which is totally unnecessary because all I play is fucking Minecraft on it. So, but it was on my vision board. So,
right, okay. Did you draw it?
I think I had a picture of it. I genuinely had a picture of it, and so I bought it. And it's the first time in history where the price of graphics cards have gone up.
Yep.
Because that's what was used to mine Bitcoins.
Yep.
Now that no one gives a fuck about Bitcoin anymore.
Oh, you say that, the second wind's coming.
Well, you say that, but graphics cards have gone back down again.
But yeah.
It's gone from like 10 million buyers down to like a few 100,000 and stuff. It's completely changed the market, which is really interesting to me. So to see a graphics card component actually become more valuable the longer I've owned it, never happened in the history of electrical components ever.
That is weird, isn't
Never
it?
happened in the history of liability products ever.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was kind of cool to see that. But yeah, just cracking on with that, and yeah, it's been a mad year.
It has been a mad year.
I'm looking forward to next year. We've been out to the States. That was cool. Been out to Salzburg.
One thing that I was thinking that, so we've been doing this a year.
Yeah.
And our processes have kind of changed.
Yeah, they have.
In how we've kind of put it together. So I remember we started off doing 2 episodes every week.
Uh-huh.
And we've done that consistently.
For about 6 months?
Yeah, for about 6 months.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Was it about 6 months? Maybe no, less than that.
That would be a year. So
Yeah.
maybe it was
Maybe about
3 months,
yeah.
4 or 6 months then.
Yeah, something like that. And then then we knocked it down to 1 a week.
Mm.
That made things considerably more strained.
Yeah.
And then we started having weeks where like either I couldn't make it or you couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And we would really be up against it.
Yeah.
In getting the podcast out every week.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just not able to get it out for the Monday, so it might be the Tuesday or the Wednesday.
Yeah.
But just thinking back to like when you're planning out your podcasts and you're scheduling the recording of it in, doing those 2 a week is massive.
I think we tried to shorten the episodes and do 2 a week.
Yeah.
And I think it works better when we do that as well.
Yeah.
When we're strict with ourselves.
Yeah.
Like this one, we should probably start wrapping up.
We probably should. Is that your way of telling me to shut up?
Sure. No, but like I think when we do 2 a week, and it does give us a lot more leeway.
Yeah.
And it's easier to do. If it was up to me, I'd record 10 in a week and just put them out to publish.
Yeah.
But I think the dynamic changes, and by episode 10, you're a bit like,
I was gonna, that you lose that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point. That happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a really good point, and I do prefer doing shorter episodes, and our shorter episodes are listened to more as well.
So there we go.
Yeah.
There's some learnings.
All right, well, let's wrap it up there for a bit.
Cool.
But let's do our content report rather than doing a content report. I know you've found one, but fuck
I won't use it.
Yeah,
I'll
don't
use
worry
that for next week.
Sure.
Don't worry about it.
What about going through some of the content reports that we've done?
Yeah, okay.
So I have documented all of them.
You have. You've been good like that.
One of the things I do is read a book every single week anyway. And it's either an audiobook or I'll read like a paperback or on my Kindle or something. Some of the big ones for me are actually occasionally you've sent over me a blog post.
Yep.
Which has been really good. Some of those have been amazing that you've gone through. Sumo Mia's often come up.
Yeah, we usually use those
We're often
because their
talking
blog
about them.
posts are pretty fucking epic.
Yeah, they're really good. The big ones for me, probably Money by Rob Moore this year. That's been huge for me. That's been a really big deal. I love that book. I reread Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins.
Yeah, I still need to get around to that.
Just outstanding book. It's big and it's chunky. It's got loads of exercises in it, and you could take a few months to just digest over that. And yeah, Miracle Morning, that was quite early on by Hal Elrod.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Profit First by Mike McCullough, that was the first episode.
There you
apparently.
go. Look at
Yeah,
that.
that's cool. So a year later, I've interviewed him.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
I like
really
that. What about you, man?
I would probably say we were actually talking about this just before we recorded. Actually,
Yeah.
Read Me.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah, that's
really
good.
that changed my
I
kind
need
of
to give that back to you,
way
yeah.
of thinking. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That changed the way I thought about how text and copy is laid out, and also how it flows and how we perceive it.
Yeah.
That was by Roger Horbury.
Yeah. That is a good book, actually. Yeah.
Really, really good book.
And Content Machine by Dan Norris.
Content Machine is,
I think it's like a fundamental book to read.
I agree. That's one of the ones that actually changed my thinking of how content can work.
Yeah.
And actually be profitable for you rather than just something you just put out there because it's a passion.
A lot of that framework we've used in our new kind of content framework that we're using, content process.
And How to Own the World is one of the ones that's just changed my view on money throughout life.
I'll dip into that as every once in a while. I released a video last week on like how funnel builders can manage their money and guarantee profitability. And that book, so Andrew Craig, How to Own the World, of which I also invest in his fund. He's the main fund that I invest in now. Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Profit First and Think and Grow Rich are all the books that come up during this money management process that we've got. So if you go on Google and search for my channel, you'll see it on there.
Just trying to look at some of the others.
Launched by Jeff Walker.
Yeah.
Well, no, because what I liked about that is we were both a bit like, it's all right.
Yeah, I think it's one of these ones that have just been like majorly hyped.
Yeah.
But then you look at it and you're like, I can see how that kind of worked when it first...
Yeah, I don't know if it's because the book is now quite old.
Yeah. Maybe things have moved on a bit since then and evolved a little bit.
We still use something similar to that. I remember first reading it and thinking it was like revolutionary, and rereading it, I was like, I don't know if it's because I know this stuff.
Yeah.
But, we're both a bit like meh on that, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
We've been reading a lot. Fuck, it's unbelievable how much we've read, actually. That's a lot. I think we have done an episode on just the books.
Yeah, we have.
We could redo another one, actually. We could do another one on books we've read.
I don't know. I don't think I've read anything more.
Top blog posts.
I could do books I'd like to read.
Top parody tweet accounts that you should follow. Yeah.
How low hanging do you want to get?
Yeah, how low hanging do you want to get?
Right.
I think that about wraps it up.
I think that was
it's
good.
It's like 10 o'clock here now, isn't it?
It is 10 o'clock here.
And you got workies tomorrow.
Yeah, mate.
So have I, sort of. Cool. All right then, man.
Right.
Well,
but that was good.
Thanks for everyone who has watched the live stream. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
And if you find the Sell Your Service private mastermind group on Facebook or the Brand Snack community, you can catch up with these videos.
Yep.
But yeah, this will be published as a episode anyway.
Yeah.
And I'll speak to you later then, man.
Cool.
Cheers, buddy.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye now.
Later.
Bye. If you liked this episode, please subscribe to the Sell Your Brand Show on iTunes or your favourite podcast app and leave a rating and a review. It makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside when we hear we're not just talking rubbish. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, drop us an email to podcast@sellyourbrandshow.com and we'll feature it in a future episode.